Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. The main announcement is I need everyone on deck. All hands on deck, everyone. I need everyone. If you have not streamed my documentary, I need you to go right now, okay? Right now to documentary.searchforwho.com and buy the documentary, guys. Please support independent filmmaker. I bootstrapped this myself. Well, let me take that back. Y'all super chats, cash apps, people going on the tour. Bootstrapped this myself. I put a lot of work into this. So I need everyone who is watching this to go to documentary.searchforhuru.com. Again, documentary.searchforhuru.com. All right, and buy the documentary. It's $10.99. It's right there. It's $10.99, you guys, and it's yours forever. So it's similar to Netflix, but there's no monthly subscription. You pay one time $10.99. You set up a login, and you can watch it everywhere you go on any device as much as you want. Watch it with your family. Watch it with your friends. You pay that $10.99. It is yours for life. $10.99. Set up a login, and you can watch it everywhere as much as you want, everywhere you go, on a flight, with your friends. Instead of watching some BS on Netflix, say, hey, let's watch Dynasty's documentary. Put in your login. There you go. $10.99. Check it out. So go to documentary.searchforhuru.com, documentary.searchforhuru.com, and please support and buy, and I will greatly appreciate it. I love y'all. Also, we are rolling to Nigeria. We leave for Nigeria soon, y'all. We leave for Nigeria soon. All right. We are going to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. That is Nigeria Oshun Festival. That is August 2nd to the 11th. Then we are rolling to Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. And then we're also going to Kenya in September as well. And then we're going to do Ghana and Ivory Coast in November. They connect to your YouTube vlogs, vids, and the content exclusive to your documentary. There is exclusive content as well. Yes, there is definitely exclusive content in the documentary. So please support the documentary, you guys. Let me get back on track. So yes, go to donfo.africa. Again, go to donfo.africa to learn more. Come join us on the tour. Sierra Leone November, and then we're doing Benin in January for the Vodun Festival. I am looking forward to all these trips, and again, would love to host you all on one of our many experiences. Y'all, so come and join us. Buy the documentary. Come and roll with us. Have fun. All that good stuff. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Today's topic. This we ain't African, we the Aboriginals. What exactly do you gain from that? What's the prize? What's the reward? Because a lot of y'all who are saying that you're not even on any role, at least be on a tribal role. I mean, for God's sake, it's an hour and 45 minutes, family. Baller's Life is an hour and 45 minutes. Just support the documentary, my brother. Please support the documentary. But you have the right to ask as many questions as you want. But just support the documentary. But it's an hour and 40 hour is it hour and 21 minutes? Okay, hour and 21 minutes. I thought it was hour and 45. Okay. Hour and 21 minutes. Okay. So everyone, yeah, so what's the prize? Again, what do you gain? As a former Wabo, I could tell you, okay, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room here shortly. But again, what do you gain? What is given? Because at the very least, with the Native Americans, they get tax. I think they're tax free. They have treaties. They have their own land. Like, what exactly do we ain't African? We Black Aboriginals. What exactly do you guys get by denying and hating your Africanity? I think that's my question. I would like to know, like, what tangible, or is it just a mental award or a spiritual award? Is it just feel good? What exactly do you gain? Now, I understand if you're Black American, you're like, listen, Dinus, we were captured, we were kidnapped, we were brought over here. We've been over here for 400 years now. I don't really see myself as African. I'm Black American, but I realize that I am a descendant of enslaved Africans who came from Africa, but I really don't connect with Africa. I can understand that. I get it. I might disagree, but I get it. But we was here, and we was always on ships in Pangea, and when Christopher Columbus came, he said he saw us, and like, what do you get? What have you gotten? He has a reservation. Do you have tribal status? Now, what exactly? What is to come up? What is gain? That's just my question. I don't know. I would like to know. And I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. If you are we ain't African, we the original natives, and Christopher Columbus saw us when he came, click on the link, call in, and let me know what exactly is gained. But yes, guys, please go to documentary.searchforhuru.com and buy the documentary. I will greatly appreciate it. But yeah, call in, links in the chat room. What do you gain by just completely renouncing your Africanity in exchange to saying that we the people that Christopher Columbus said he saw when he pulled up? That's my question. That's my question. Because can you also claim reparations now too? I mean, I don't know. How does that work? Because if you're a indigenous aboriginal, then there's a whole separate treaty that you have, the United States government. Dizali, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Hey, brother, peace, peace.
One second, my brother. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But 1 second, guys. Dizali, I mean, Ball's Life 510 can ask as many questions as you want. You know, I just if he's concerned about documentary length and what content is in it and all that, it is what it is. It's just 1099. I would love for him to spend it and buy the documentary, but if he has questions about it, hey, that's his right to ask. As far as the length and what's in it, and I'm not sure he has some other questions too. Um, I just there are people who are in different categories. There's some people that are like, hey, Dynas, love what you do, whatever you got, I got you, no problem. And then there's some people who are just like, hey, Dynas, like I enjoy your show, but as far as supporting, I gotta think about it. I gotta weigh my options, and that's fine. That is fine. You are more than welcome to come and watch. I'm here every night. I'm live. You are more than welcome to come and be a spectator, and that is completely fine. I know, like, prime example, there's Alan who's about the documentary. There's a number of people in the chat that's about the documentary. There's people that whenever I release something, I just say, hey, I released this. No problem, Dynasty. Where do I go? Where do I pay? And then you got people that, they want to ask questions. And that's completely fine. All right, go ahead, Dizali.
I want to say greetings to you, brother, and I want to say greetings to your listeners also. And like I put in the chat, yeah, I was what people know of as a Weibo slash pretendian way back in 2005, 2006. I was heavily into that.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from being a Black American that's searching for identity, and it's also a remnant of the Black conscious community. What I mean by that is the Black conscious community, the elders taught us certain things that was incomplete. And above all, they taught us to never listen to anything that the air quote European said. So they gave us this information, and some of them left, some of them passed on, some of them moved on to other things, but they left us hanging. So other groups started sprouting then, and groups started adding their own ideology to it. So you have us young Black people searching for identity, not satisfied with America. We're not satisfied with our title and our history as it is laid down to us. Because that history, as it is laid down to us, it can be embarrassing to a Black person if they don't have the bravery to walk with their head up and their chest out and say, yeah, that's me, that's us. What? We overcame that. So it's easier for you to grab hold on to, I was prior to Dane Calloway. I was reading books and reading papers that you can't even find on the internet anymore. Because this way
Real
back in
quick,
2000.
when you say reading books and papers, like what actual books and papers? Like,
All right. We also had we all know that we had they came before Columbus. Um Let me remember. It's a
well,
lot of French.
and in that book, not to spoil it, but go ahead and spoil it because I haven't read the book. Outside of like what actual proof is in that book that we came before Columbus? That's archaeological that you could go to
There
outside
isn't
of.
any.
Well, and that's my point. So outside of just hey, these statues look like us, there's nothing.
Yeah, there isn't any actual proof. And when you're in a cult, you don't really need proof. You can somewhat call it a cult because you gain like a cult like mentality of us against the world. You're caught up in a conspiracy web, and you have your companions who give you, support. So it's just you and your conspiratorial companions against everyone. You think that everyone else is wrong, a sheep. What's the other word? Indoctrinated. You just love the white man. So and it just builds in you, but it makes you feel better to have this ideology that we always been here. We were never conquered. The white man tricked us. See, if there's one thing that black people don't like is saying that we got our butts kicked somewhere or we were done some type of wrong way. When you say that you are able, you can go you can go with the theory that we were never conquered. They just tricked us. They didn't come in here and kill a lot of people. They tricked us, and we had other black people who looked like us who helped them, but we didn't actually get our butt whipped. So that feels better to you. It feels better. That's why you will hear them fighting so hard and so desperately. And they will call you names like the COON word and Uncle Tom and all type stuff because you are hurting them emotionally. But you have to get to the point where you can be a real man or a real woman and you face reality. This happened to us. We have evidence of it. And that's how I broke out of it. Oh, other than realizing that no one really cares if we are ABOs here. It ain't going to get us anything. It
Right,
ain't
and
going to
that's
get
my
us
question.
nothing.
Right, so that's my question. What's the sweepstakes of doing that?
Mhm. That's how, at that time, our mentality was if we can convince all the Black Americans that we're Aboriginal, we can go to the world court. Tariq started this. Well, he put it into words. We can go to the world court and we could lay a claim that these Europeans came over here, stole our land, so we can get our land back. Without actually having to fight anyone, we'll have the air quote world court say, hey, Europeans, y'all wrong. Y'all took that land from those black people. Give that land back to them. When when you actually think about it, it don't work like that. Someone like Trump is going to say, "Yeah, we did take y'all land
What the
from
hell you
you.
gonna
Take
do?
it back from us.
What you gonna do? Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll take it
yeah, take it
again.
back from take it back from us, and then laugh at you." So when I thought about that, I was in about a year or two, and I actually thought about that. I thought about how the world actually worked. No one cares about you being an Aboriginal or Indian. We took it from you by force. We took it by force, not by our line and not by our tricking you. Trickery came later. We did not paper genocide you. Paper cannot genocide anyone unless you are weak, weak, weak. Paper comes after you have killed millions of people. That's when you can put paper on someone. So the people, I'm not looking at the chat right now, the people in the chat going crazy, there's no such thing as paper genocide. You have to kill a lot of people before you can put paperwork on someone. When I realized these things, I said, man, let me stop lying to myself. Hey, there's nothing to darn game. So let me go ahead and go with what the actual evidence shows. And I've been on that track ever since.
All right, cool. Let me pass the mic. Balls Life, go ahead. Balls Life, unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. All right, yeah. So I feel like part of it just comes from like I want to say like a sense of betrayal because I think a lot of Black Americans feel sort of like betrayed by Africans, So they sort of just feel like first of all, I don't want to identify with a people that's like hating on me and think like I'm lazy and think that, I'm like ghetto and all this stuff. So they just feel like first of all, these people, sold us out. And then on top of that, like when they come to the States, they be on some weird stuff. So instead of identifying with them, I'm gonna just identify with the land that I've been on, that I have a paper trail with for like hundreds and hundreds of years, right? Because I don't got no, African ancestor story or no slave ship story. So, I'm probably indigenous. And then plus these Africans, like when they come over here, they like on some weird stuff and they be calling us akatas and they be calling us like this and that. So I don't feel like I'm an African. Plus I don't got the connection, like I don't got the paper trail connection. And a white man's DNA test is telling me, oh, you 85% African, or you 70%. Like, like black people, we never really trusted, the systems and everything the system has to say, because I mean a lot of it's been a lot. So I don't necessarily like blame, people for believing it. Um, and I can understand why, because it's like just with the diasporas and everything, it's like nobody really wants to identify with a group of people they don't really feel secure with. That, sometimes, I'm an African myself, so I'll admit, like, in the States, we are on some weird shit with Black Americans. I'm not gonna lie. And even just growing up, I haven't really heard the most positive things about Black Americans. So I can understand like the wanting to like de-alienate and, oh, maybe we aboriginals, maybe we this, instead of identifying with the same people that call us lazy, and then, be almost sounding like white supremacists sometimes when they talk about us, right? I'm identify with the soil because that's all I know. That's what I can trace, so that's my take on it.
Ballers Life, that answer all your questions.
Oh, about what?
The documentary.
Yeah, I'm a type the link like in a search bar, and then I'm a try to buy it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Marcus, go ahead, Marcus.
Hey, what's up, Don? What's happening, everybody?
Peace.
Uh the guy, I mean, both the guys that spoke, they pretty much summed up what I wanted to say. But I came down that same road with Van Sertim, and my first book was they came before Columbus, and I was bored. This is like 89, 90, and it got me in the mode of thinking in that mode that we were here before. You know what I'm saying? Or we came here from Africa. But as time went on, and as I started doing my more research, I came across a guy that I was in school with, and he told me about this documentary. And the documentary is called, I think it's The First Americans by BBC, and their analysis, and they have skeletons. They also have skulls. Now, those skulls and bones have also come up missing since. But um, the documentary is there, and you see the bones, you see the measurements, and they say that these are Negroid type bones in South America. This is in Brazil. Since that time, they've been doing DNA. They have found DNA markers in Native Americans in South America, Central America, and a few in North America. And these come from New Guinea, the Melanesian Islands, and Australia. This is where this DNA come from. Now, you don't have to sit up and, I'm not saying that the Native Americans or the blacks, and the blacks came here before here, the Native Americans. I really don't have a lot of concrete information on. I'm just going by what has been researched and what has been found. And um, there is evidence of people, melanated people coming here. Is it before the Native Americans? We don't know. Did they come with the Native American across the land bridge, or did they come across the Pacific? We don't know that yet. They're doing research on it right now. They don't want to talk about it because it destroys the narrative. But there is some evidence there are melanated people that look like, that look like the people from um, the Pacific Islands, um, New Guinea, and Australia. And basically, that's all I have to say. Diamonds.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Go ahead, Strength. Strength. Go ahead.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello. What's up? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, man. I think it's uh first off, Donis, appreciate you having me on. Been watching your channel for a long time, man. Respect, man.
Strength. Got a
But
got a question. Did you get the documentary?
not yet, not yet. As soon as I get off.
Hey, Donis,
Okay.
I did watch a documentary when it first came out, so I did pay
Yeah.
my money.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Nah, I was just gonna say, man. I think it stemmed from a need for validation. Like our people have this complex that we always want to feel special. Each one of us, that it's the same reason we buy uh clothes we don't need, things we can't afford, stuff like that. We always splitting each other up into different groups. It's this need to feel validated, right? So the whole Indian thing is like I just started hearing about it a few years ago, and I'm like, what is this? What is this based in? And it's like pseudo nonsense. So they not getting anything but a sense of validation that we're a unique group and we're special and we got something secret going on. Well, really, nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's like there's a bunch of Native American groups that do have languages and history and stuff in this country, right? Not saying that we didn't sail here from Africa, that there isn't findings that African people sailed to the Americas, right? I do believe that certainly could have happened as possible, right? That we could have traveled here on our own before slavery, right? But no one even hardly thinks about the groups that are confirmed to Native Americans. So hearing about black people that just switched up and want to say like they're natives now, outside of the ones that that were taken in from slavery, I can understand that case. But want to say they're indigenous, it's like who cares? You're just another group, and when people see you, they see just a bunch of Negroes. Like Africa has 48 sovereign nations with armies and governments and systems of full of people that, for the most part, want to interact with us. Yes, as neo-colonized as they may be, and as many coons as they have, and we have our own coons, right? Well, I don't see the benefit in all of a sudden claiming we indigenous now. We not African. We don't want nothing to do with Africa. It don't make no sense to me, right? They most of these groups live in these small reservations with situations going on. Some of them 10 times worse than what Black Americans got going on. So it's just a sense of feeling special. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that haunts our people all the time. It's a sense of tribalism and the sense to feel like I'm in a unique, special group. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say that's going on. Donis, I'm gonna make sure I get the documentary as soon as possible, man.
Please do. Everybody who's watching this, please support the documentary if you have not already. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
Yes, peace, brother. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, peace to the panel. Yes, concerning the subject, what do we gain from claiming Native American ancestry? And my answer to that is you gain nothing because it is a lie. It is a made up lie. And all it does is it takes away from the truth. Okay, so yeah, it takes away more than gaining anything. So yeah, and now that's why our people have to stop the bias and stick to the historical records, because that's what this is all about. This is written, documented historical records versus made up lies and fantasies. And this is what these pretending Native American abos been doing, making up lies and fantasies. Now, when we stick to the history, we know for certain that the Europeans had knowledge of Africa long before America. The discovery of America started with Christopher Columbus. The discovery of Africa goes all the way back to Herodotus, the first ancient Greek historian in 450 BCE. And that's when Europeans had knowledge of Africa. So yeah, so this American thing is very recent, is very young, and it's like they want this everything that is credited that's supposed to be credited to Africa, they want to steal it and twist it and falsify it and make it their own. You know, even the word Indies, the West Indies, and the people they call Indians. Okay, that was due to a mistake that Christopher Columbus thought that he was in India in Asia, with the Indians who were spoken of by the Greek historians as having straight hair and black skin over in Asia, which is the modern day India today. So and they want to steal that and hijack that as well, and not even knowing the origin and the oldest mention of that word, you know, and these historical records, they are real. Okay, Black people, please stop saying everything is a lie. Stop always saying, oh, the white man lied, or everything is a lie. But you have no documented proof to debunk that lie. All you have is your made up imagination. And that's all I've been seeing. But history, the records of history are real. Okay, when you look at the English language being spoken in America, that didn't happen through coincidence. That happened because of the European colonization of America. The Arabic language being spoken in Egypt and North Africa, that happened due to the Arab invasion that was well documented in the annals of history. So stop saying that all this stuff is a lie. No, it's not. You're the lie. You're the one that's lying. Okay, history is not lying. Okay, and just accept we got enslaved, we lost. Okay, it is what it is. Accept your defeat. Be real about it. Okay, and bring about a solution and see how you're going to overturn that defeat and overthrow your enemy. And when it comes to like claiming our ancient identity, okay, we have to claim our ancient identity. We have to claim what's in the ancient records, because it seems like everyone except Black people is claiming their ancient ancestors. The Indians in India, they call themselves Indians because of that comes from the ancient Hindu. That was what their ancestors called. The Arabs, Arabians, they have no problem calling themselves Arabians, Chinese, Egyptians. They're calling themselves by the name of their ancestors, and all of these groups seem to be doing better, a whole lot better than Black people. It is only Black people who want to rebel against the ancient world and rebel and go against and betray their ancestors and I see why we're on the bottom, because Black people are rebelling against the truth. I see it every day. They're coming up with all these new fake identities and they're rebelling against the truth, and they think it's going to get them somewhere, and it's not. Things are only going to get worse if this madness continues. So yeah, and the best proof that Black people are from Africa is our dark skin and our kinky hair. So all this Black people, you must stop the bias. Okay, stop the bias. Get out there, do your research. Okay, do honest research, and read the historical records. Read it, study it, and know the truth, and stop the bias. And I'll land my plane there.
All right, guys, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the convo. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Link is in the in the chat room. Dazil, why did you leave the Albo group? I don't know if you Dizali, I'm sorry. Why'd you leave your Albo group, and how were you treated when you left?
Um, the reason why I left the group is because, like I said, I stopped lying to myself and I realized that there was no tangible benefit. You know, it was all about tangibles. And just like I asked a lot of the people who still in that cult now, what tangible benefit will you obtain? And none of them can point me to any tangible, any tangibility from it. They treat me as the same way as every cult treat any member that gets wiser and then leaves it. They first they're going to try and deny that you were ever a member of it. They're gonna say, "Nah, you were never one of us. You're just a agent, just a infiltrator." I want people to notice and recognize uh, the mentality and tactics that the able and the pretendian community has. It's just like any other cult. So mostly when I informed them that I was an able before many of them were born, before many of them knew what it meant, they immediately try and invalidate. So that's how they treat me.
Okay. Let's see. Your first Enoch says the grand prize is our grandparents didn't lie. Okay. Now, Dizal, in your Albo group, were there a lot of people saying that their grandma never said they was from Africa or they was always from
Mhm.
America? Are we getting a lot of that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was very strong, and we can say that it's actually accurate in many of our Black families because just think about it. Your family, at least mine, they didn't speak anything about Africa because if people are old enough to darn know, it was always viewed as being kind of embarrassing, and quite frankly, it wasn't taught how it is now. It took some of our Black elders to actually teach about that, and then the movie Roots came out in school when they had the week or two about slavery. They soft shoed around it. They left us room to, whereas the white kids in the classroom with us wouldn't be laughing at us, pointing at us. So it left us room to darn wiggle and say, that ain't me. That's those other people. So our grandparents, our great grandparents, many of them said we had Indian in our family. They didn't say that we were Indians. Now, some people in some regions, yeah, like in Oklahoma, maybe South Florida, parts of Virginia, North Carolina, for historical reasons, perhaps their grandparents did say that they were Indians. But as I like to tell people now, you're supposed to be better than your grandparents and your great grandparents. Those people weren't educated. Those people were manual laborers. They were working in fields. They were cleaning houses. They dropped out in the third grade. You're supposed to be better than them. You have access to more education than them. You're supposed to correct them. You disappoint them by continuing the misinformation that they had no choice but to pass down to you because they didn't know any better, you know? So, yeah, many of us didn't hear that we were African because it just wasn't talked about. It was not taught. It was not something to be talked about in most circles. Who wanted to talk about that? You know. So yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Links in the chat room if you want to call. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, when it comes to what grandma says, now what grandma says and what mama says is not good enough. Okay, because grandma is not old enough. Now, when it comes to also oral history, now as a historian who believes in documented history, I do not trust oral history. And the reason is because the person who lived before that person, or the generations before that person who died, who is dead, that person, yeah, the great grandparent, instance, who lived before the grandparent could have said something different. Okay, the grandparent, your grandparents could be telling you, yeah, you were Native American, and we were Native Americans, and we always been in this country. And the great grandparent could have been a slave that came directly from Africa, and the great grandparent could have said, if you get what he or she was saying, they would probably say that, yeah, we came from Nigeria. We were brought over here as slaves, and then but the grandparent who lived after that could change up the story. So that's why I have no trust in oral history. I believe 100% that documented written history is the absolute truth, because and it would have saved us a whole lot of argument if the great grandparent who came before the grandparent, or black people in general, would have left behind a written document saying where their ancestors came from. And if that was the case, then we would not be here arguing as much as we do. But being that they were slaves, they were, some of them were probably not able to do that. But yeah, that's why I have no trust in oral history, DNA history, and a lot of this stuff is made up, and it doesn't go back that far. So yeah, if you believe in it, that's on you. But yeah, I don't believe in it, and it's very pseudo. It's a forgery, and it's very like unrealistic to me. For people to do this, just like the Hebrew Israelites saying that the Africans saying in their oral traditions that their ancestors were Hebrews. That's based on oral history. I would like to see some written documents on that, to really prove it. And yeah, and that's what's going on. A lot of these groups, they're making up their own identities, and they making up these made up, imagined oral histories, which I see as pseudo history. I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, and it really makes no sense. And yeah, but even like Africa, the white man and Arabs as well, they revere Africa. That's why they're ruling the world now. Because they're copying what the kings of Kemet in Africa did back in the ancient times. And the white man does not care. He does not respect you being a Native American. Okay, you can sit up here and say, "Oh," especially when you're lying. Okay, these guys saying they're Native, and they're lying, and like even the real Native Americans, they can tell the truth and be like, "Hey, I'm a Native American. This land belongs to me," and he still don't give a damn. And all this stuff, like, because it's like these Negroes are trying to make white people feel sorry for them. Okay, and white people just gonna cry and just feel sorry and have all this sympathy for them, and just say, all you can have the land back. You can have it all back. Yeah, and it's not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen. Like the white man, the white race, he respects power and authority more than being indigenous to the land, and that's what it's going to take for you to take this land. Even though we come from Africa, that's what it's going to take for us to get rulership and get and get freedom on this land is through power. And and if Africans had the same reverence to Africa in ancient Kemet as the white man did, then Africa would rule the world. But because of Christianity and the religion, that's not the case. But yeah, this is not going to get Black people anywhere. And when it comes to the slave trade, okay, there is a document that proves that the Atlantic slave trade in Africa is older than the slave trade in America. There's a document called the Charter of Emperor Charles V. Okay, it was written in the 1501 to 1518. And it documents, this was way before 1619, when the first 20 odd Negroes arrived in Jamestown, Virginia. And it says, and it clearly mentions that 4,000 Negroes were shipped from the Guinea coast of Africa to the Americas, and they were converted to Christianity. So it's like we got all this evidence of the slave trade, but my question to you pretendians or abos, what is your evidence? The burden is on you to show evidence to prove that you're a Native American. And so far we have seen nothing but imagination. And and I don't see why you would want to stoop to the level of all these other races when you have the greatest history in the world. Okay, these people, when you claim your real history, these other races, they have nothing on you. Okay, they're beneath you. Okay, but for some reason you just want to sell yourself short and put yourself on the level of everybody else when you should have been on top. Okay, and the reason why you're not on top because your real history has been lied about. And we definitely need to establish the truth and unite under that truth, because these different movements is not getting us nowhere. And Tariq Nasheed, I heard him recently. Okay, and he talks in hypocrisy. He's a hypocrite in explaining what the FBA movement is about. And he sat up there and said, yeah, he don't deny the Atlantic slave trade, and he believed that slaves came here. But then he sat up there and said that a lot of the Black people here are natives, and there was no way the Atlantic slave trade could happen because it was too many people. And yeah, the guy is a hypocrite. He doesn't talk, and he doesn't talk. None of his claims are solid and absolute. He's confusing his audience. So and he's confusing me as well about what this FBA movement is all about. Yeah, but I need to see some primary sources to prove this claim. It's bad enough that we got the Hebrew Israelite and the African and Native African debate going on, but this Native American claim, it's like it's the most fakest and most pseudo claim I ever heard. Like it is so fake that it'll be hard to debate it, because it's so brand new, and it makes no sense. It's it came after everything else, and these guys trying to debate this, and it makes no sense. And another thing is, like, these Native American tribes, like the real ones who
well, one second, Will. Until you pay your fine, you can't come on. So will you pay your fine, and then you could come on? So you might as
Yeah,
well
yeah,
drop off, Will. Well, actually, it's not even a fine. The bet you lost. Then you want to play stupid and act like you didn't, you wanted to move the goalpost. So Will, send the $25 right there. Then you can come on. All right, go ahead, Pharaoh.
yeah. And another thing is like the actual Native American tribes who speak the Native American language, like they know like the customs and the traditions of their ancestors. They know the language, they know the name of the gods, but none of this applies to the black people that's claiming to be Native American. These guys, these black people who claim Native American, they don't speak any Native American language. They don't worship any Native American gods. They don't know anything about the Native American traditions and customs. But the actual people who practice this stuff are those people with the light skin or the medium skin and the long straight hair, wearing the feathers, and who live in reservations. Okay, but black people are just lost and making up stuff and walking around talking about all the white man lied and history is a lie and all that. But while you got the actual people, the actual Native Americans who know their language and know their culture, and none of this applies to you. Same with the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, those Hebrew writings, the making of the Bible, the Hebrew texts, the canons of the Bible that was all made and originated by the Jews, the actual Jews, the people who actually come from that region. that has nothing to do with you. Okay, so I mean, so the only hope for Black Americans is to do some real research and know your history in Africa and Kemet. The real study the history of the real Black people who were called Black, and be honest, because none of this stuff, none of this has anything to do with Black people. Yeah, like these Christopher Columbus, when you get into his original records, he clearly says that the natives that he saw had medium skin and long straight hair and were not as black as the Negroes in Guinea. That's what he said. And anything else is made up and pseudo. I also heard that someone described the people over here as Ethiopians, yet that was found out to be a forgery and had nothing to do with the original primary source. But this needs to stop, because it's not going to get us anywhere. You can't you can't steal the slave trade from the originators. The slave trade belongs to the people who were taken from Africa. And if you're making an argument for reparations and you're denying the slave trade in Africa, your argument is going to fail, and it's going to be horrible, and it's not going to look good. But this definitely needs to stop. And as a historian, I'm getting disrespected every time, when I try to teach some knowledge to these brothers, and they want to bring their craziness and their pseudo history into the conversation, and you get mad when I tell you that it's all a made up lie, and it's very sad, and it has nothing to do with the actual chronology of history. Okay, this Native American thing, this Hebrew Israelite stuff, it destroys the chronology. It is an anachronism. It goes against the time. Okay, and it goes against history, and it needs to stop now. Yeah, but and even if you go on Google, and ask the question to AI that how did this black people, Native Americans started, or and it's a theory. It's going to say it's not supported by any historical records. It just started by a group of black people in America who's angry at what happened to them, and they came up with all this, you know, we are Native Americans nonsense, you know. Yeah, but yeah, it's academia doesn't take it seriously. You know, if it was the truth, yeah, we would definitely be benefited from it. You know, but all these made up lies is just making us look bad, and it's holding us back. Yeah, and it definitely needs to stop. But yeah, but if somebody else want to talk, I'll land there.
I also wanted to sort of add, I didn't at first, but I feel like a lot of people think that by like claiming this indigeneity, like they're gonna, somehow be more American than like white people. And to be honest, I just don't think that would really do anything. Cause I mean, just look at how indigenous people have been treated since these Europeans came on these shores, like they weren't even American citizens until I think the mid 20th century. So it's like, okay, you want to be a Aboriginal, all right, cool, but what's that gonna do for you? Like what is that gonna change? Like, because even if you were indigenous, it's not like the white man gonna respect that and be like, oh, yo, we sorry for being on your land, bro. We gonna get off, we gonna hop off. Like we gonna go back to Europe. They not gonna do that. They just gonna kill you with the indigenous people, bro. So it's like that's not really doing nothing for you. And then on top of that, it's like I know part of it's like the diaspora war and just everything going on between like African immigrants and like Black Americans, but I also feel like it's also self-hate too, because it's like they'll see just sort of like how a lot of Africans, when they look at like Black Americans on TV and they'll see like the stereotypes, a lot of Black Americans will look at our stereotypes and be like, oh no, I'm not them, like I'm not the hut dwellers, the piss showerers, like I don't put dung in my head and do all that, so they'll look at certain stuff and they'll be like, nah, that's not my people, bro. Like I'm more civilized than that, you know uh I'm more intelligent or whatever they thinking in their mind. So you know I feel like that's what it is too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. Yeah, because now, although I believe in history and I'm a historian, yeah, don't get me wrong. When I say that, you know, yeah, the just as the white man don't care about you being Native American, he also don't care about history and real history and documents and artifacts, and yeah, he don't. Yeah, he doesn't care about that either. So it's like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
they're not about to care. You got to remember, you talking to the same people that after the natives were damn near wiped out, they just put them in reservations. They put them through hell, man. So it's like they're not about to listen to some Black people talking about some, we Aboriginal, bro. We about to take over, and then they about to be like, oh, all right, we gonna fall back. We gonna fall back. You the new Indian. Like, no, they about to just put you in a reservation, right, and do everything that they already doing to the Indians now. So it's not gonna change the situation. Like it's not gonna take you from being like, oh, I'm not African no more. I'm not a booty scratcher anymore. Now I'm like this Superman, super powered indigenous. Like no, it don't work like that. And then I feel like a part of it's American culture too, because American culture was sort of like, make like Native Americans into like this fairy tale people, and like, oh yeah, they got feathers in their head and they're majestic and they're one with nature and all that. And it's just like, they'll stereotype them too. And then a lot of people will be attracted to the stereotype and they'll try to embody it. You know what I mean? Instead of just loving your ancestors. And honestly, bro, it's like, honestly, if my ancestors were like victims of the transatlantic slave trade, I'd be so proud of that, because it's like they literally survived the unsurvivable. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
yeah, like, bro, because people need to understand that for you to get off that slave ship and even be enslaved in America, you have to survive like the march to the coast. You have to survive the slave castles. You have to survive the Middle Passage. Like, you have to survive things that most of the people that you were on the journey with did not survive. You know,
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
didn't survive that. So for you to even survive and then build this country, no matter how it may have came about, like that's something that you should be honored. Like that you should take honor in that. You know, you should
yeah,
take honor that your ancestors survived the unsurvivable and were able to, you know, survive so that you can be here. And I just feel like as a like honestly, black people as a race, because like even Africans, like there's just becoming this thing because of slavery and colonialism where we don't really respect our ancestors like how our great great grandparents did. You know what I mean? Like we don't really have that respect. You know,
yeah,
we don't really care about the ancestors like that. Like, you know, like we'll just try to rebrand ourselves as something different. You know, because even like in Nigeria, for example, I just found out like the Igbo, like they also have this thing going on where they trying to like claim they're like Hebrew as well, or they're like the ancient Jews or something like that too. You know, so it's not even just like a black American thing. Like even, you know, Igbo Nigerians, they be trying to say the same exact stuff. And it's just like, I mean, yeah, there's some similarities between the two, but you have to remember these people were on completely different sides of the planet. So there ain't no way that you about to be like, you know, some ancient Hebrew that went to Nigeria and just made the Igbo, and then that's how you came to be. So I just feel like because of colonialism and slavery, like we just don't respect the ancestors. We really don't. Like
yeah,
and
You
then
know,
yeah,
another thing too, we don't really care
you,
about keeping their traditions either, or because okay, like for example, right? A lot of black people in general, like we don't really care about our traditional religions, or even especially once we get to the West, we don't really care about like especially even African immigrants, like they don't care about really speaking like their mother tongue like that, you know, especially if they're born in the States. Like there's just this type of behavior that we have towards like our ancestral culture that nobody else has, because you know the Chinese is proud about their Chinese culture. Like I even remember Joshua Maponga was talking about how when he went to China, like they had like the Chinese herbs, and then they had like the modern herbs, you know what I mean? But like with Africans, you like Africans, we damn near like ashamed of herbs now. You know, like we damn near we don't even want to claim it. We're like, oh no, that's like primitive stuff. Like a lot of you know, not everybody, but a lot of Africans are becoming that way where it's like they reject herbs, they reject. So it's just like black people as a race, like I hate to say, but we hate ourselves. You know, we have like self-hate a lot more than probably even other races of people. You know,
oh
and then
yeah,
the thing is
yeah,
like,
yeah,
sorry, what are you saying?
yeah, definitely, yeah. I definitely agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah, we just have a lot of
I want to
self-hate
say
that we
this,
gotta
man.
we gotta we gotta work on, man. Cause it's like at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with our ancestors, their culture, their heritage. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. We gotta claim it. We gotta take it back. You know, before it's gone. So you know
Let me
that's
say,
just the problem with black people
I'm
in
sorry.
general. We don't like ourselves, man.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
say this. You know, I often try and compromise with our people. You know, let's say, you know, because I understand in a way when some of us Black Americans say that we aren't African. You know, it's a matter of conversation. You know, um, nationality wise, no, we aren't African.
Yeah, definitely
When
not. Yeah.
some when some people say we're African, we're talking about
The
genetically.
connection.
I did
Yeah.
I did my DNA test. I am 97% African.
Oh wow.
97% African, 3% German. You know, but I am not
30%.
a pan African.
Okay.
Because that's one of the labels that they will quickly want to slap on you. Just because you want to give accurate information, you're a pan African. I'm not pan African. I don't really care nothing about Africa.
But okay.
I don't own Africa. I don't own America either.
Mhm.
So I don't have to lie. So I could just go with the evidence. I offer this peace bone to, let's say, FBA, the ABOs. We are Aboriginal somewhere. We're Aboriginal to the United States of America. We're not Aboriginal to this continent, but we can say we're Aboriginal in certain conversations to this country because we've been here since its inception. But as far as us being Aboriginal, indigenous to this continent, no. You do not turn pale when you move up north and then turn dark when you move down south. Those are people who have physically evolved, adapted to this continent. That's these natives that we currently see. They have evolved for this continent. Up north, when I used to live in Alaska, those people are very pale, practically white, but you can see that they aren't, European white. They are Asian white. They are northern natives. Down south, South America, Florida, where I live at, a native can be as brown as a black person. Their skin, I think there's actually a study that said their skin is the most adaptive skin of all humans. They can be light in the wintertime and dark in the summertime. They adapted here, my Black Aboriginal people. They have evolved for this continent. But, we can say that we're indigenous to this country. Oh, that's where I wanted to go, because I look at the chat frequently. You can tell that we descend from Africans. That's what I say. We descend from Africans. You can tell it because we brought that African tribalism here. That's all FBA, ADOS, pretendianism, Aboriginal is. It's tribalism. We want to be different from those people. We willing to fight you to be different from those people. We not those people. When you look in the FBA chat, all you hear is stinking African this, musty African that. It's just tribalism. It's just talking, flapping, because that's what Black people very good at, talking and flapping, philosophizing. We have trouble when it comes time to actually do something. So they think they're going to finesse themselves into some tangible. Finesse. Land and power is only obtained through war. Land and power is only obtained through war. But we ain't about that life. I ain't about it anymore. I used to be a man of war. But so all of this, we want to label ourselves this. We want to label ourselves a Hebrew Israelite. We want to label ourselves a Indian. It's all about trying to obtain something without actual bloodshed. That's how land and power is actually obtained. And when I understood that, for those who don't know, I was an able way back to 2005. When I understood that, I dropped that mess and said, look, it's just a waste of time. I see people in the chat saying, I searched my genealogy and I couldn't find not one African. Are you dumb? When you see Negro, what do you think they are talking about?
Hold on, can I add something too?
Yes.
So I wanted to sort of talk about you talking about Pan-Africanism. I feel like a lot of people have this misconception, and Dynast, you could correct me if you think that I'm wrong, or you have a different opinion. But I feel like Pan-Africanism isn't about like going back to Africa or going back to a village or something like that. It's more so, and it's more than just Africa too. Like African is just the word that they use to talk about the origin of the people, but it's more so about like collective liberation, right? Because the way I look at Pan-Africanism is a state of conscience, right? It's a state of conscious where you understand who you are in relation to your country or your nation. Let's say America, because if I'm not mistaken, Malcolm he didn't necessarily identify he didn't identify with America because he's seen himself as an outlier to America. He's seen himself as like, an African, like not necessarily in like a Nigerian or a Ghanaian, but he's seen himself as like a something that is captive to America rather than a part of it. You know what I mean? So Pan-Africanism isn't really about just giving like Africans a check or, going to Africa and paying African people or doing business with African people. It's really about the collective liberation of continental Africans and people of African descent worldwide, right? Because we're sort of all in the same like predicament, not necessarily the same, right? Not the exact same. Like I would never try to say that what a Haitian is going through is the same thing as what a Black American is going through, or what a Black American is going through is the same as what a Nigerian is going through. You know what I'm saying? But it's about understanding that our liberation is aligned, right? Because if our liberation wasn't aligned, Haiti would be not what it is right now, right? Like, the US took part in destabilizing Haiti so that the Black people in the US don't get ideas of, liberating themselves and unchaining themselves and, making the process of liberation go faster, because then that would have damaged the economy, the slave master economy and stuff like that. So yeah, like I don't, the way that I see and view Pan-Africanism isn't about going back to Africa after 400 years of not being there. It's more so of standing in solidarity with each other, understanding that these systems are against us and we are not going to be free until every single African or African diasporan is free on this globe.
Yes, yes, yeah, I definitely agree. I agree with that. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I also want to touch on your point where you say where we survived slavery
Yeah,
is the greatest thing ever. Uh, yet surviving slavery is good, but what makes you great is rebelling as a slave and overthrowing your slave master.
for sure.
That is what that is what the white man fears. You
Oh,
know,
for sure.
he fears us rising
That's why
up.
the police. That's why the police state exists. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because that's the greatest, that's the greatest claim in the world, to be kept down so long as slaves and to be oppressed so long, and you rising up and overthrowing and defeating your oppressor. Yeah, that is definitely that is something to document and write in the annals of history. Yeah, so that that says a lot, and that is the reason why the white man wants everybody to become a Christian, because it makes them docile, and it calms down anyone who from rebelling, against their master. Just as the good book says, all slaves and all servants obey your master even when he is harsh to you. Yeah, and that's the trick behind that. But yeah,
But
but
yeah,
the
but
trick.
let me pass the mic. Shout out to Savage Indios for the 2 gem silver star. Thank you so much.
Don't make any
The
goddamn
Negro
sense.
Unchained. Go ahead.
Oh, my fault. Was I speaking over y'all? I didn't know that. That was my bad. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just trying to figure out um the brother that was speaking. I'm not sure who it is, just because everything's so small up there. You said that you was a historian, man. How did you skip over Negro land?
Negro
I'm
land.
not I'm not understanding how you skipped over that, and you're saying that people are making up this. I mean, I understand the whole pretending thing, that's for sure, because there's no documentation. But if you're a historian, how did you skip over that and then come out your mouth and say that people are doing the same thing with this Hebrew Israelite situation. That don't.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
yeah. You okay? Now you notice it. It says Negro land, not Hebrew land.
No, yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
But it don't have to say that in order for them to be Hebrews. But go on.
yeah. Because when you get off into the origins and etymology of the word Negro derives from the Latin word negrite
Black. You're
or
gonna say
Niger.
black, right?
Yeah, Niger, which
Mm.
they translate
Nigger.
into black.
It's actually nigger.
Yeah. But yeah, and that is where the Niger River comes
Mhm.
from.
It's
Now,
actually the nigger river, but go ahead.
yeah. But when you look at this word in its originality, okay, and when these people were first introduced into the annals of real history, you see that these people, Negroes, derive from a people known as the Negrite. And
Hmm.
the Negrite were known as an Ethiopian nation. They were
Hmm.
not known as a Judean or Jewish nation or Israelite nation.
I mean, that's kind of like saying using the word Ethiopian, though, right? Blackface or burnt face.
Yeah, Ethiopian. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Ethiopian connects to now Valley civilization.
Oh, we have to also remember this, that the borderlines we see as Ethiopia right now was not the borderlines of Ethiopia before that.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. That Ethiopia was a
Hmm.
vast land. It was
And the
all of
entire
Sub-Saharan
continent
Africa.
at one time was called Ethiopia. So
Yes,
what I'm getting at is that if you got to the point of knowing that Negro land existed, did you just stop right there, or I
no,
don't get what happened.
no, because Negro land, when you keep it within its proper chronology, it connects to these people known as the Negrite Ethiopians. It has nothing to do with the
Mhm.
Hebrew Israelites.
Okay, so what about the kingdom of Judah?
Yeah, the kingdom of Judah. Yeah, that's based on a 1700s map.
Hmm.
There's no
I know.
ancient there's no ancient writings to support that. So you have to
There
distinguish.
is definitely
Yeah,
ancient
yeah, you
writings.
have
So let me get.
look, you have to
Go ahead.
distinguish Negro from Jew or Judean. It's two different people. You
Well, when
look
you
up the
say
origins
Jew
of
or
etymology. Jew
Judean,
derives from
anybody
Judean.
can be. Go
Negro
ahead.
derives from Ethiopian Negrite. Two different people. So
If I live in,
those
okay.
Negroes connected to an Ethiopian people who were already there. They were not connected to any Jews or Judeans or Israelites. That came about later.
See, that's the thing. We're using Israelite, right? Let's just say this. We're using Israelite. We're using what language? English, correct? That's English.
Yeah, that's English. Yes.
That's English with English words and letters.
Uh huh.
You do know that there's older words than that. For instance,
Yeah, you cut out.
What
Yeah.
happened? Did you fall off? Did you fall off, bro? Bro,
Yeah. I think he fell off. Yeah, you cut out.
yeah,
You cut out, bro.
keep it going.
Yeah.
You don't want Giannis to have dead air. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Don't want to have dead
But
air.
Hebrew Israelite has nothing to do with the Negroes, bro. You gotta do honest
I think I
research.
just went out. My bad.
Yeah,
I don't know if you heard me or not. I
yeah.
was saying that
Yeah, you gotta
I
go
was
again.
saying. Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You
Hey,
still
hey,
there?
the Negro, call back in, man. Call back in when you got it together. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah, man.
guys, when you call in, you call in on your Obama phone, you got your other trap phone ringing, like, call in and just get it together when you call in. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, brother, you gotta, if you're listening, you gotta do honest research. Okay. I'm not the one who accepts and believe in this made up white man slave master English pseudo history today. Okay, when you deal with me on that subject, it's going to get as real.
Hold on. The
as it can get.
Negro Unchained. Are you
Yeah.
still on your trap phone? Like is your trap phone ringing on your Obama phone? Like what's going on?
Yeah, that's my bad, man. Yeah, I'm on right now, man.
Oh, go ahead.
Interrupted. So what I'm saying is that there's plenty of evidence of Jews. You're saying it, and I'm not even just. I don't like using that term, but there's plenty of evidence of Black Jews and white Jews being in the same place, being in Khazaria, Black Khazars in Europe, while the Moors ran the show in Europe for hundreds of years. You didn't get to that part?
Yeah,
like,
but yeah, but that's not ancient, brother. That's more like late medieval.
I'm not claiming that that's ancient right now. I'm just saying you're trying to tell us right now, since it's not ancient, that these are converts and just converted to the practice.
Yes. I will say that.
There we go.
I will
That's
say
what I needed you to say.
Yeah.
Now,
I will say. Yeah, I will say that they were converts. They were either converts or they were not even Jews at all. Because
what makes you say they weren't Jews at all is when there's documentation of Jews living in Europe.
The writers, a lot of the writers, when they seen these Black people in Africa, they labeled them as Jews.
Why did they do that?
Yeah, because they're religious. They're Christian. So anything they see that is similar to Jews.
Similar to what?
You know, they're going to call them Jews because it's coming from the language of religion.
So hold on.
So that's why I believe that. That's why I believe a lot of these people who were called Jews in Africa, they were not even Jews. The writer called them Jews.
And you're saying because of some religious situation, right? Because they looked like them. You said because they look like them.
It's coming, brother. It's coming from a Christian point of view. It's coming from
sir.
And
first of all, Christianity has nothing to do with the scriptures. You do know that, right?
Huh?
You do know that, right? I said Christianity has nothing to do with the scriptures. Nothing.
Yes, it does.
Not one thing. No, it don't. You can't even find the word in that book.
It means
it has nothing to do with it. That's European Roman.
It has to do with the New Testament.
No, it don't.
Yes,
you
it does.
Go ahead. Show me a scripture right now where you see Christianity in the word.
No, Christianity comes from Jesus Christ.
Show me where it says Christianity in it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This comes from Rome.
I can show you where it says Christ. That's where it comes from.
I know it says Christ, but that has nothing to do with Christianity, sir.
The first brother.
Not at all.
That's the first 6 letters, brother. Regardless of
that's like me calling you a child because I said you're acting childish. Why do you think they're called Jewish? That don't mean that they're Jews. Now they make up anything. That's the
Christianity.
That's linguistics for you.
Christ. It comes from Christ. You have to focus on the first 5 letters of the word Christ. Okay, Christianity.
That has nothing to do with Christianity, sir.
That was just something that was added.
No.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, you could find Christian in there, but guess what? They're not calling themselves Christian.
Brother,
other people are calling them that.
Christian comes from Christ. Okay, just as Egyptian comes from Egyptos.
All right, tonight.
Ethiopian comes from Ethiops. Okay, Christian comes from Christ.
Sir,
that's all.
There's nobody in Scripture that claims to be a Christian. Not one. That comes from Rome.
But the Christians make it very clear that they follow the New Testament.
I know that they exactly. You're right. And who are those Christians that forced it on us? Rome. That's who it is.
Man. Yeah.
That's exactly who it is. So now, I don't even know how to pronounce this, but there's another way of pronouncing it with a J.
Yes. And
Judarium Terra. You're trying to tell me they sat there and marked the entire continent of Africa of where all the Jews was at, but none of them was Jews.
Yes, that's what I believe. You know why? You know why? Because it's not in the ancient records. Until you can show me an ancient text that says Israelites or Jews were in West Africa, then no Jews and no Israelites were ever in West Africa.
How ancient? How old does this got to be?
Yeah, it has to be okay. If you're claiming to be
How old is ancient
Israelite,
for you?
yeah. If you're claiming to be an Israelite from the Old
Yeah, you
Testament,
welcome.
okay. Look, listen. If you're claiming to be an Israelite from the Old Testament, which ended during the Assyrian and Babylonian exile, you have to show me something dated before the BCE era came to an end. If it's after that, then I can't accept it. It's too late. It's a fraud and it's
Yeah,
a
that's
forgery.
fine right there.
It's a forgery. And if you're claiming to be
No, you just leave it there.
yeah, if you're claiming to be a Jew, if you're claiming
Hey,
to be
Negro Chain, when you know, just go ahead, Negro Chain. Go ahead. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
yeah. If you're claiming to be a Jew who from the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, I need to see a source dated at least before the ancient period was over with, which came to an end in 500 CE or 500 AD. I need to see a source dated before the medieval period. And I'm being like I'm
So
being
in
nice.
other words,
I'm being nice with it.
so in other
need to
words,
see a source. I really need to see a source dated to the century right after the event. But I'm giving you
which event again?
Yeah. I really need to see a source dated to right after the Assyrian exile and right after 70 AD, which would be 2nd century AD. I really need to see a source dated to that time. But
Okay.
yeah. But I'm actually
And you
being
want
nice
them
and
to spell it with IS.
I'm actually being lenient when I tell you to show me a source at least dated before 500 AD if you're claiming to be a Jew from the 70 AD, and seeing a source before the BCE era ended if you're claiming to be an Israelite from the Assyrian exile. I'm being lenient, but when you go over that 500-year time period, it can't be. It's too late. It can't be accepted. It's too late. It's too late. It's pseudo, and it's a made up forgery. It's fabricated.
Okay. Well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that's how
I
it
guess
works for
that's
me.
all.
You gotta, yeah, you gotta
If
be
it needs
fair
to be
with
that
history.
old, I definitely can.
You gotta be fair with history because
I definitely can get you. Yeah, you definitely got to be fair with history. Like, how many coincidences do you need? Why would they mark the entire continent labeling where these people are at if they are not them? And you're talking about, now mind you, you said that it's Europeans that did this for religious purposes, which makes no sense. It's not even a logical thing
yes,
why they would even prop us up like
it's
that.
coming from their records. It's
That
coming
don't make
from their
sense.
writings.
Whose records?
It's coming from the
European?
writings of the Arabs, of the medieval Arabs, and the Christian Europeans.
Arabs ain't got nothing to do with this. Do you have any idea what it says about them in scripture? They would never do nothing like that.
It don't
The
matter.
issue is that people don't know who the hell people who is being even spoken about. That's why you're saying this. You have no idea who the people are being spoken about in scripture. Now, if scripture isn't ancient enough for you, I mean, I could, but I can't get out of this without hanging
brother,
up on
the scripture,
the stream or whatever.
The Bible applies to the Israelites who were in the land of Canaan.
Oh,
and when it speaks of the scattering,
it applies to them being in the land of their captivity today.
No, it applies
to anywhere. It don't just apply to just one point in time in history. Where'd you get that from?
Anyone in West
Where
Africa.
did you get that? That's not in the
apply to
Bible.
anyone in West Africa. Okay, show me.
Where did you get that, sir?
Show me Israelites in West Africa in the Old Testament. Can you do that in the Old Testament?
Where did you get that?
If you can't show that,
why would they be? First of all, people move around, bro. Do you not understand what happened to them in the scripture? In the scripture, you should know that they moved around a lot because they were disobedient. They are hard-headed people.
But
they didn't stay in one place. Where'd you get that?
The places they moved around to was the biblical known world, which is from the Middle Eastern region, from the Tigris, Euphrates to Egypt.
Man, do you not understand that there's 22 different African countries mentioned in the Bible? Do you know that?
22 African countries.
Countries, yes.
Yes. Which one is West Africa?
Get out of this while I'm hanging this thing up.
Hello? Which one is West Africa?
Hey, I don't know if y'all talking about black Americans, African Americans with this. I just want to make a comment.
Go ahead, bro. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
This Trent, AK General Dave, I don't know if anybody had heard of me before, but I just want to make a comment. What is the benefit prize for claiming? It's sovereignty, sovereignty, our collective ability to be able to plot our future course, not being tied to being a derivative or being bound by a book, a religion, a principle. The final form of from saying we wasn't nothing to 3/5 of a man to being full, the final form of what we supposed to be. Another form of, if you want to say, a person being manifest destiny. That's all I wanted to say. So y'all can carry on.
The only reason why I brought that up is because the only reason why I brought that up is because this whole pretending thing stems from that. It stems from this whole situation, from them not wanting us to reunite. All these people talking about they're making up fake. It's just
reunite with what? But I wasn't saying all of that. Look, my stance is that I think
I'll answer that if you want me to, because you asked me.
I think
reuniting with our people.
I think this division has gone too far, even though that we are two separate peoples, no matter how you cut it. I think that after all of this, however it's going to end out, I think there's a lot of embassies that the FBA, African American, Black American people gonna have to reopen up and mend ties on an international level. That's all I want to say.
What do you mean by the embassy? I don't get it.
I believe that we are people, a nation. We number in 44 million. That is pretty much a nation. I think that we're an individual group of people, distinct people, unlike anybody else on this planet Earth.
Man, y'all gonna have a hard time leaving this.
Hold on, listen to me, bro. However, as of right now, there's a division amongst us and the diaspora, and I think that when all of this dies down, my people gonna have to reach out again to repair international relations with the diaspora.
Oh, there ain't gonna be no
choice. Let me say this, man, and I said it earlier when I spoke. We as Black people, we are good at philosophy, and we need to name ourselves this, and then we'll get this benefit. And the problem is we can't come, together as one. We good at talking that, and we spend a lot of time talking that. But my stance is none of that means not a damn thing. It don't matter if we all get together and call ourselves the damn moon people.
I agree with you.
You still have to do something with that. You still have to become scientifically literate so you can come and sit at the world table as a world power.
Yes.
We spend all our time trying to reclaim something from 2,000-3,000 years ago. That stuff got conquered. It got stepped on. It got beat. So
Yes.
why you trying to go back to that when it already got its ass whooped? It
Hey,
already got its ass whooped. It
hey,
already got
Say it
stepped
did.
on.
pretty soon, all mention of how it was and how it could be gonna be considered treason by the new breed. I'm with you on that, bro. Ain't no perfect name, but whatever my people can vote and get 50 plus 1% of the vote to call ourselves, I roll with that name. But ain't no name gonna stop this struggle that we in for progress.
Exactly. Exactly. I want our people to get that through their head. Stop sitting here arguing about a name. No one with actual power care about your name. Have any of you been bullies and you bullied someone and they try and tap dance all around the actual fact that you can't whoop them? That's what black
Right,
people look like. We
right.
we
Ain't
tap
no
dancing
name
around
gonna change this
everything.
shit. But I
We
do agree with this need for a name decided by ourselves. So like I said, whatever 50 plus 1% of my people, you know what I mean? Because we call ourselves all different things. But whatever 50 plus 1% agree to, I'm rolling with it.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah, but
too. Just for the sake of us being on the same page. Then we can actually
Yeah.
start doing something and actually get ourselves together.
Yeah.
Not
I,
not something from 2, 3 thousand years ago. Well, I'll even roll with the
Real talk,
Arnats
it's a new
if we
breed,
do
man.
that.
It's new world out there, man. We can listen to the past, learn from strategic good things and strategic bad things, man. But we in the present and the future, bro. I agree with you.
yeah, yeah,
yeah. I mean,
brother. Yeah, I disagree when you say that that something from 2,000 years ago don't mean anything now that ain't got nothing to do with what's gonna set us free. Okay, what's gonna set you free is if you unite and take action against the enemy. Okay, when it comes to history, nationality, and identity, that's just having knowledge of you want to know who you are. It ain't got nothing to do with
Man,
gonna free you or anything like that. Okay, it has to do with the truth, with you wanting to know the truth.
you ain't lying
Okay,
about
so
that.
then that's why anybody who claiming who thinks that these identities and these names are going to get them free, you're no, you're wrong. You got another thing coming. You
We
uniting as
free
a nation
already.
and
We free already, bro.
taking
But
action
we
against your enemy. That is what is going to get you power and get you free. Having
but we free. We
knowing
just
who we
don't want to
are,
get rid of them
it
creature
has to do
comforts.
it has to do with want to know with having knowledge. It has to do with knowledge and wanting to know the truth of who you are. That's all it has to do.
yeah. I mean, another thing too is I feel like too many of us are looking for like a born again Malcolm X or a born again MLK, when it's like you got the autobiography of Malcolm X telling you everything that you need to do. To be honest with you, like there's too many black folk like looking around for like some sense of direction from like a pseudo intellectual like Tariq Nasheed or Umar Johnson, right, who's just taking money out of your pockets and providing for his family. Like I feel like there's people are looking for like a new leader to unite everybody under one identity, but
Mm,
the people who
yeah.
really actually brought change and really liberated everybody mentally, like Malcolm and Huey P. Newton and all these guys, like they already did what they did and wrote what they wrote. Like they existed so that we
Mm-hmm.
can look at what they
And we
did
don't.
and follow exactly as
Yeah.
what they
We
taught. You know
don't.
what I mean? Like we
Mm-hmm.
got to stop looking for the next Malcolm X, that's supposed to come on a podcast and do a you, because honestly, to be honest with you, even if we did have another Malcolm, he ain't gonna be on YouTube. He ain't gonna be on YouTube. He's not gonna be on these talk shows. He's gonna be putting in work. He's gonna be putting in work in the grassroots organizations. He's gonna
well, this
be
is important, brother, because I think I,
Yeah. Yeah. It
this is
definitely is.
very the podcast and the YouTube discussions uh from Pan African to the pro black sector, all of that is very important because I think we're past leaders. Now we need a code.
Okay.
We need a code that
But to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of these dudes, like, they just call themselves Pan Africans, but they not really about it. Like, I've seen a lot of so-called Pan. I'm not gonna put any names here, right? But I've seen a lot of so-called quote Pan African YouTubers get out here talking about unity, get out here talking about investing in Africa, investing in this, investing in that, but they ain't investing in nothing but their pockets and diaspora wars and like O'Shea, for example, right? Like, I feel like he's not really a Pan-African for real because he don't even see
Agreed.
himself in unity with the African people that are working under his business. You know
my
what I'm saying?
own
Like, he don't see himself as one with the people, and that don't mean you got to erase being Black American, because I understand like a lot of Black Americans don't like the idea of having to erase who they've been for the past 400 years and just being, oh yeah, I'm an African and I'm here like
Man, that
spearing a
don't erase
zebra.
nothing.
You know what I mean? Like, I obviously understand that, right? But you have to also understand that your liberation, right, from whether it be capitalism or whether it be white supremacy, that is in coalition with other people who may be in a better spot than you or worse spot than you, whether that's Uganda, whether that's Haiti. So it's like a lot of these so-called Pan-Africans, like, they'll call themselves a Pan-African. Even Tariq at one point, if I'm not mistaken, was a Pan-African, right? And now look
Yeah.
at what he's saying and look at what
Yes.
he's doing. So that's what I'm saying is, like, honestly, I just feel more comfortable reading, whether it's Malcolm or whether it's just any of these
Gotta
guys,
read.
even like Walter Rodney, or just
Hmm.
any Pan-African that I knew was really about it, and they wrote their work and they told us what to do. Because I feel like the ancestors, the thing that a lot of Black folk don't understand is the ancestors talk to us every day, man. Right? They talk to us through what they've done, what they've left behind. That is their existence continuing after death. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand that, if you want to continue the fight, you got to listen to what they say. You can't ignore them. You can't just be like, oh, this person's dead, that person's dead. What they have to say doesn't matter. And I feel like that's the reason why a lot of Black
Sound
folk
like some
even
hard-headed
oppose
Israelites if you
Pan-Africanism
ask
to
me.
begin with, right? Is
I
because they think, oh, them guys in the past, they don't matter. Nothing that they went through now has to do with me right now in the present. But it's like, bro, I'm telling you, if you even read autobiography of Malcolm X, there is so much stuff that he talks about that's literally going
Hmm.
on right now. Like, it's
Yep.
almost as if he took a time machine, went into our present, and then went back to like the 1960s and just
well,
started writing about it.
We don't ever listen to our elders, man. All the people who
We don't.
died
We really
and
don't.
everything.
You know what I mean? Because we're
It's
like,
like,
and
what the
then the thing is,
fuck?
we'll be quick to insult our elders and insult our ancestors. We'll be like, oh, we not them. I'm not them.
I hate
I'm
that.
not right.
Oh
I'm not the
man,
slaves. I'm not the civil rights activists, right? Like, we'll be
I
so
had
quick to
to. Hmm.
disconnect ourselves and look ourselves as better. Listen, I'm sorry, but with the way that we are today, I genuinely don't think that a lot of us would have made it out of slavery. I don't think that a lot of us
Nope.
would have made it out of slavery and colonialism if we were put in the same spot as our ancestors. We really wouldn't.
Hmm.
I,
We
I
really
don't
wouldn't.
know
We love
how
to
I
long
make it
that.
believe
seem as
that.
if we would be on top and we wouldn't let no cracker mess with us or push us around. But I'm telling you, the way a lot of Black people function today, we would literally be compliant and saying, "Yes, sir, boss. What you mean? What you need me to
Hmm.
get you, boss?" I'm telling you, bro. Because
Hmm.
y'all, for example, the diaspora wars, right? Like, y'all will let one video snippet determine whether you like
Hmm.
Africans and Caribbeans or not. You will
Well,
literally let
Facts.
one, probably a goofy, probably a sellout from the Caribbean or Africa, say something crazy
Hmm.
about Black Americans, and now your whole entire personality is, I hate Africans and Caribbeans.
well,
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
well.
Good
perfect,
point.
brother. Perfect example of that. Perfect example of that is the slave master back in slave days. He used to he had to fight the black woman to try to try to rape her. But now today the black woman just go to him.
In my
Yeah.
opinion, the main thing holding back. I'm from Chicago, and it's a whole different world from what I've realized everybody else's region of
Hmm.
America is. So we two things. One, we don't let one person like we don't let the hatred of maybe one person from somewhere else make it so that we hate a whole country of people. Nah, we just don't like that one person. But number two, what kind of has, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, has kept I don't know a better word, but the Pan-African movement slowing down. And my perspective is that, and I always come up on here with Dynasty to say that. He's like, what do you mean, brother? Here's all the list. But for all the Pan-Africans and the people, the main thing that I'm looking for, and a lot of middle-class Black people are looking for, is strictly financial. Like, hey,
For sure.
we got money going through our 401ks. We got investments. How do we buy African countries' bonds? Like, there should be
Is
a
that the
super
only
huge
incentive?
bond. There should be a super huge bond drive here in America to say, hey, African Americans, please invest in the Nigerian national bond. Here's the interest rate.
That's true.
Here's our
But
currency.
this
So that we can,
I
because
agree.
without, in Chicago,
this is the
money
thing
is
though.
what makes a coalition. Investment makes it. So that's really my only gripe from a middle class Black American perspective is to reach out as far as strictly saying, look, you can have all your equity.
Is somebody washing dishes or something? Like, that's. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Dynas always gives me that. He always tells me, like, what do you mean this is that? I'm just saying as a blanket.
Well, what did I say there in regards to bonds?
Every time I mention it, you're like, brother, we tell you the banks and the accounts and all of that type of stuff. And so every time I come up here, I just say one thing to make sure that's in the Pan-African message of saying, here's how to buy the national bonds, like give a loan, like Black Americans loaning a country money for a fair return or interest rate. I think that's really the next level of this diaspora type stuff, because I'm tired of seeing, like, I got a lot of Haitian friends and family, even though I'm Black American. And so I look at the Caribbean, if a hurricane hits or a power plant issue, it's like, where's the bond drive to say, hey, we're going to loan money for this amount of interest? And, that'll build up that infrastructure. And, that's just just give us our interest back. If you start making companies and equities, that's a whole separate ball game. But this whole stagnant of being boxed in financially without being able to touch or invest around the world on a big scale, like, national bonds. I can't say it any other way. That's really my only request as a middle class Black American.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the other thing that you guys sort of have to also understand is that, like, to be honest with you, and some Africans might get us upset at me saying this, but we're not really in control of, like, our governments and countries and stuff like that. Like, to be honest with you, these African countries are really just colonies with flag independence. You know what I mean? Like,
They
bro,
still
I'm telling
got
you,
bonds, man. Nigeria got national bond. Every single country that you,
yeah, but like a lot of Africans
there's
don't
no
really
but
have
to
the
it.
economic privilege of investing, though. Like,
There's no but to it. Nobody respects Black Americans' money, let alone the diaspora. We're only respected as a give me, give me, give me. We're not respected as saying, hey, that is an investment class that can be tapped to invest in the capital markets to basically help, like all y'all countries is floating bonds. But when it comes to floating these bonds, it's basically saying, hey, I'm only going to go to Europe or the UK, and not even nobody's telling the UK Black diaspora, hey, for ECOWAS or whoever's using the French, the CFA franc, nobody's talking to the Blacks in Europe saying, hey, can you invest in our bonds and shit like that? It's just not there. So without a financial aspect, because we're in that time now, without a financial aspect, and stop saying that everybody's poor, we're poor. Like, $5 a month with everybody is goddamn it, can fuck around and change.
yeah, but at the same time, like, you really expect like an African who's maybe getting displaced off of their land, or literally lives in a fucking, you know, metal shed. Like, you really expect them to be putting in money like across the
No,
diaspora?
African Americans. See, you can't even conceptualize. Like, Black Americans have 401ks and pensions. They invest in the U.S. stock market every single 2 weeks, every time they get their paycheck. But that investment is not even noticed, respected, even amongst our own community. I know that the Africans there can't cough up no money to invest in just the foundation. But the problem is, it hasn't even crossed anybody in diaspora's mind or anybody to say, "Hey, Black American, I can deal with you as an actual investor, a bond investor, to say, hey, we can lower our interest rates through demand because we're ready to purchase, as well as stabilize the goddamn interest rates relative to the U.S. dollar, because there's so much interest payments going back and forth. Like, this is pro-America, pro-Africa type shit. So no, I'm not saying, hey, how do we get the impoverished to pay for it? I'm saying, how do we get the best of us to utilize our resources to invest and bringing up the totality?
What? So you asking how can the African elites, like, you talking about the people that are on the top that got the money?
No, I'm just saying, no. I am literally saying, for all these Pan-African people, when y'all talk, when y'all get on these panels, please reserve at least 2 minutes saying, hey, this is the national debt. Let's just say this is the national debt of Ghana. This is the foreign exchange rate. And this is how you buy a Ghanaian bond.
I mean, okay, yeah, that could be done.
Nobody says that shit. Nobody says Zimbabwe. Nobody says Kenya, let alone South Africa. But if you keep saying it, we over here, like, dog, we're putting in, at the very least, everybody who working is putting in at least probably $100 every 2 weeks. You think everybody ain't got at least $5 every 2 weeks? Add that shit up amongst, goddamn it, at least 20 million people working.
You're going beyond.
Yeah, I'm going beyond the past. I'm in the present and the future.
Yes, us over here, brother. We just ordinary people who have knowledge on the subject. Okay, now what you're doing, what you're talking about, that is something that has to be done by the politicians and people who.
No, it don't.
And the rich and wealthy people, brother. Okay, a lot of these brothers and sisters, they're struggling to pay their rent. They're struggling to pay their bills. So how they,
and not to mention too, like, these black elites and these black rich, they don't care about black people either. Like, they really don't. Like,
you gotta stop.
They try to get closer in proximity to whiteness. They don't care about the African villager or the Black American living in Section 8 in the ghetto. They don't care. Like, they're all about them and what they can put in their pockets.
The ghetto. Do you work?
Yeah, I work, but I'm not rich.
Okay. Do you make more than $55,000 a year?
No.
Do you invest every 2 weeks in a 401k?
Yeah, I'm not even doing all that investing and stuff, to be honest with you, bro.
I'm saying, when you go to work.
No, I don't have an investment plan in my work. No.
Okay. Anybody else on this panel?
No, some of us, we can't afford to do that, brother. We on the bottom. we in the struggle, brother. We in the fight. We in the trenches, brother.
For whoever
the only solution is revolution. The only solution is revolution.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him. It's to completely dismantle this system, because black capitalism ain't getting us nowhere, bro. Like, we can't capitalize our way to liberation. That's not how it works. Like, we were forced into capitalism to begin with. We didn't choose this. So how are you going?
So are you in the game?
No, why would I be in the game?
I mean, well, how the hell is you talking about revolution? At least you ain't goddamn it putting in no work. You ain't got your sword and all that other type of shit. Living Renegade Universal, like,
nah.
You gotta do something. Like, what the fuck?
But what is it? What is me being in the gang gonna do for liberation, though?
Goddamn it, it's gonna make you a goddamn it super soldier.
First of all, these gangs don't even got no organization. Ever
Man.
since the big guys got locked up, they don't got no organization, so they can't
Okay.
be used for liberation
Hey
anyway.
guys, 1 second. Hey, the Negro Unchained, you have a lot of background noise. Like I don't know if you're doing construction, and then you have not an echo, but I can hear like the replay echo going on. Like you just got a lot going on in the background of Negro Unchained. JC Inc. Thank you for 499 holla. It doesn't matter what FBA's names themselves. Reparations will be given or have to be taken, like the Jays have been doing to the Palestinians. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna lay off all of that, man. Y'all go ahead and talk. That's all I wanted to say, brothers. Just try to include that, like when you're talking to them, you know, it's different levels of black folk.
No, I understand, Trenton, but I have to be very, very careful when we start dealing with investments on this platform.
Right.
Just for
I know, because
liability
you can't
issues.
give out advice. Yes, you'll get shut down. That's about it. But
yeah, and also too, like say you guys invest. It's just again, it's an investment, so there's no guarantee. So if you guys invest in certain bonds in Africa and it goes upside down, then you guys are coming with the pitchforks for me. So I just gotta. So I just know how we are.
I know. But yeah,
but I mean, I could definitely reach out to some people and set that up and have them come on. But again, it's not a financial advice. Don't invest more than you can lose. And if something happens, shit goes upside down. Don't. It is what it is.
And just regular national bonds, nothing, none of that other shit. You know what I mean? But I appreciate it. So I'm out of here. Nice talking with y'all guys, man. Stay safe out there.
All right, peace.
Yeah.
Is it still an issue?
No, you sound better. Go ahead.
Yeah, brother. I got a question for you. The brother. I just got the Hebrew Israelite. Now, do you actually? First of all, when it comes to your identity and the truth, do you believe in the ancient text or do you believe in the English?
You're speaking to me then, right?
Yes.
Do I believe in the ancient text or do I believe in it being translated into English?
No. Do you believe in the ancient text or do you believe in the English?
Only thing I understand is you said in the English, right? So you mean the translation into English?
Yes. When it comes to your identity, do you believe in the ancient text such as the Hebrew, in the ancient Greek, or do you believe in the white slave masters' English?
I don't even understand what that even means, except it's just a translation into English. There's nothing that's contradictory.
No, I'm not talking about a translation. Okay, a translation is something it's been something being translated from the ancient text. I'm talking about the English. I'm talking about something. Yeah, I'm talking about. Do you believe in something straight from the ancient text or something directly from the English?
I guess I can say I believe in the ancient text. I really don't know.
Okay.
If it's not what you're saying that it's translated into English, then I don't get what you mean. By English,
Something being translated from an ancient text. I do not consider English. That's coming from the.
You don't consider it English?
Yes, I don't consider that English because it's coming from the ancient text. It's being translated into English. Okay.
But you don't consider English then
something that's not being translated is coming from the English only. So that's why I asked you that. So you agree that the Bible was written in the ancient text, and that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to Israelites in West Africa, can you show me that in the ancient text, in the same ancient text that the Bible was written in?
Oh no, see, this is what you ain't getting, bro. These people, our people, spoke many languages. And before it was written down, we passed it by word of mouth. The only reason why people start writing stuff down is because we kept getting chased all over Earth. That's it. That's the only
Yeah,
reason. I don't know
Who was we kept getting chased?
Israel.
yeah. See,
Wow.
the reason why I'm
See,
asking you that is
everybody
because
mentions Bantu expansion, but they don't even tell you where they expanded from. Most people don't even talk about that. But
yeah,
go ahead, ask me again.
yeah. The reason I ask you that is because what you're claiming, Jews and Israelites in West Africa, it derives from fake
Well,
history.
the what in West Africa?
Yeah, Jews and Israelites in West Africa.
Who the Jew? What Jews
Yeah,
and Israelites in West Africa?
yeah. Jews in West Africa. It comes from Christian writers, modern day Christian writers, and Jews, and also from medieval Arabic. Okay, and this is the same type of history that the Hebrew Israelites will say is made up. And I'm saying that right there
Hmm?
derives from it derives from
What do
fake
we say
made up
that's
history.
made up?
Yeah,
What are we saying that's made
yeah.
up?
Jews in West Africa and Israelites in West Africa. That is not
You
from
said
the
that we're
Bible.
saying that it's not real and it's made up.
Well,
Yes, the whole yeah. You have
if you're in what context?
yes. You have you have the real original Bible, which records the chronology, okay, from the time of Abraham to the kings of Israel, all the way to the Babylonian exile and the last king of Judah. That is the real history. Okay, what you believe in, okay, Jews in West Africa, Israelites in West Africa, that came about very late, and that is fake, and that is fabricated, and is pseudo. So I'm telling you
But
that
what
the
part are
real
you
story,
talking about that we don't
yeah,
believe in and we could believe is fake? That's what I'm
yeah,
trying to
the
figure out.
prophecies that apply to the Israelites, it expired, it expired after the Bible, because it was applied to the Israelites.
What do you
It was
mean
applied
after
to
the
the
Bible? There's
Israelites.
stuff that ain't
Now,
even
no, no, no,
happened
no, no.
yet. How can
No,
it be
listen,
after the
listen,
Bible?
listen,
What are you talking about?
listen. You have to show me. Okay, you have to show me another valid official story
So you
of the
said
biblical
after the
Israelites
Bible.
right after the Old Testament. Okay, but what you believe in comes from something that was made up in
Well,
very
I'm
late
lost.
modern
What
time.
I'm lost.
Let's
The
see.
Negro Unchained. What do you believe in? That's why I'm confused. I missed that
What I
part.
believe is that the reason why I brought that up earlier about all this pretending stuff is because this is what they wanted to do, is try, because it came about at most people who believe what I believe, which is we are the people
I
of the
don't know what
book.
you
We are
I
the
don't know
people
what
of
you
the
believe.
book.
I don't know what you
We are the
believe.
people
So
of we are the people of the book. That's what I believe.
okay, well you're in the
Okay.
same boat as
So
you're in the same boat as the Pretendians.
well, that's what you claim. That's what I got on here to talk about, because the other brother was saying, mentioned something like that, trying to put us in the same boat. We're not in the same boat.
No,
We're not in the same boat at
y'all
all.
definitely in the same
If
boat. No, you're in the same boat.
okay, if that's a belief that you have, and that's
Well,
what
it's
can I
not a
say?
belief.
You know,
It's
so
just it's not a belief. It's just there's no. Do you travel the Negro Unchained?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, have you
Yes,
been to
I
West
travel.
Africa?
Oh, my people from West Africa.
Who's your
Yes,
people? Who's your peoples?
Liberians, West African, Niger,
I'm saying,
Congo, Spanish.
have you been?
Yes, sir. I have been to
Okay,
Liberia.
because it's just every single ethnic group, they have their own creation stories, they have their own deities, their
Yeah,
own
absolutely.
science. They have everything, and nothing links them back. Then none of that claim that they claim that they come from Israel. They're Jews or Hebrews. They're very specific
Okay,
on who they
so
are.
yeah, you're right about that. A lot of the people are very specific on who they are, and we have people like Awe, so they're lying. Are the Awe people lying?
The Elway people, okay, so the
Or are they
Elway
lying?
people. Let me finish. The Elways are similar to like how you have some Igbos who claim that they're Jews. It's like a fringe few that
But
claim that they're Jews.
they have. Okay, so we know what a language is, right? We were just talking about language earlier.
I know Elways. I know Elways from Ghana and Togo. I know a lot of Elways. I'm
Okay,
telling you, the majority of Elways ain't running around talking about they Jews.
okay. So what
In
I'm
fact, let me show.
saying to
Hold on.
you is this:
In
as
fact,
far
hold on.
as
I'm gonna show you something
advantage.
real quick. Hold on. Well, go keep going. Let me show you something.
We
Because
were
they're
talking
very
about
specific.
language earlier.
Elway speak Elway.
Yeah. And Awe is short for what?
Nothing to do with no Jews or no Hebrews. I just
Okay.
need to stop.
Aways, before they spelled it the way they spelled it now, how did they spell it?
Sir, it has nothing to
You
do
do?
with anything. They have their own specific culture. It
I
has nothing
know
to do
they
with the
do.
Hebrews and the
No
Jews.
kidding.
It's
No
just
kid. What? Okay.
But yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
brother. My point is, okay, now that's oral
I
tradition.
wrote
Okay, that's oral
IEWES.
tradition. That's what you're not trying to claim that, brother. You're trying to claim the Bible.
No, I'm not trying to claim that.
Your prize, your eye on the prize is the Bible. So if you're trying to claim the Bible, then you have to show some ancient text that's contemporary with the Bible. That's where I'm getting to.
I don't understand our obsession with. Let me stop. I mean, let me stop. Like I said, the Airway, they have their own specific, beautiful indigenous culture,
No
and it
kidding.
has nothing to do with being Hebrew or a Jew.
Oh, really? So
I'm
their
telling you.
language.
In fact, to be honest,
They
the Airways, their traditional
okay,
religion is more in tune with more connected to voodoo than anything. I mean, they all have their own create all these different ethnic groups have their own creation stories, their own deities, their own gods, their own science, their own history, and just none of them talk about being Jews or Hebrews. That's something that came along.
They do claim that. You said none of them, but earlier you just
well,
said
like I
some
said,
of them.
there's a
And then
fringe
also,
group, just like in every society, there's a fringe group, like with Igbos, where there's a few that claim to be that, but they get laughed at.
That's cool. Just why do you keep saying that? You think only the Igbo in Nigeria are saying that?
No, but in every group you have just outliers that just come up with just like in Black America, you got some Black Americans claim to be the Moors, you got some that claim to be Jews, you got some that claim to be Indians, but the majority of Black Americans are very aware of the slave trade and their origins, and then you just have a few that just for some reason just went off on the deep end, which is it's whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, brother, your chronology is way off, brother. So and what I'm trying to get at is,
are you talking about me now?
Yes.
What
You
chronology? I gave you mine.
Your chronology of history is way off.
On
it
what?
makes no sense. Okay, now okay, I'm going to ask you the question. What is real
Man,
to you?
we can't have
Hold on. What is real to you? Jews in Israel during the time of Alexander the Great, or Jews in West Africa during the time of George Washington? Because Jews or Israelites in Israel during the time of Cyrus the Great, okay, that's in the ancient text. That's in the ancient text. That is in the real history. That is in the real proper chronology. Okay, but when your leaders teach you, when your leaders teach you that teach you of Jews in West Africa during the 1700s, that's all made up, fabricated pseudo history, brother. It's pseudo history, and
it's pseudo history.
It's
but
pseudo
the Jews were kicked out into
pseudo history at
so the
best.
Jews were kicked out of Europe back into West Africa.
No. I'm not talking about that.
Hold on a second.
I'm talking about when your leaders tell you.
I heard you the first time, bro. Are we talking back and forth? We're just gonna be talking over each other.
Okay, based on the 1700 source. Okay, based on the 1700 source that Jews in West Africa got there during the time of 70 AD. Okay, and it's not coming from any 70 AD source. That is pseudo history. They're telling you. They're quoting from a late 1700 source, but they're telling you that those Jews been there since antiquity. but the source is not from antiquity. The source is
Who
modern.
the heck told you that?
Late and pseudo.
Hold on a second. See, you just putting words in people's mouth. Who told you that? I didn't say that. I don't know what Israelite or teacher you talking about that ever said anything about Jews being in West Africa and antiquity and all this other stuff. I don't know what are you saying? A conversation is supposed to go back and forth.
You don't
so
believe
let me
this?
say this.
You don't believe
so
that?
let me say this.
You don't believe that?
What?
That Jews were in Africa during antiquity, during
in the continent, yes, of course. Yeah, I do believe that. Definitely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
But you just said you don't.
You're talking about, you mentioned West Africa, bro. And I just told you a little bit earlier that people do not stay in one place. People don't stay in one place. If you talk to an Igbo person or a Yoruba person, they will tell you that's not where they was originally settled. They settled there. I'm sorry, they settled there.
No, the Yorubas are very specific that the Ile-Ife is where they come from Ododuwa.
They settled in West Africa.
But
Igbo,
but Yoruba are very. You got to come to Nigeria with me.
Yeah.
They are very specific on their origins in regards to Ile-Ife. That's the birthplace.
So you're saying that are you telling?
I'm just telling you what Yorubas tell what they say in Yoruba land in Ile-Ife. That Ile-Ife is the birthplace of the Yoruba.
I appreciate y'all letting me come up, though. I do, but I'll listen in the comments. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
But yeah, brother, that's all I'm saying. You know, learn some ancient, learn the ancient language, learn real ancient history, and you will have a better appreciation for it. Yeah.
No, but what the guy is saying is not wrong though. Donis, have you ever read the book by Rudolph R. Winslow? A scholar that goes all around and write books and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. What did he say?
He said that like in the book, like from Babylon to Timbuktu, he did say that the slave ship was full of Jewish black Jewish slaves in the book of From Babylon to Timbuktu.
But brother,
hold on.
You know when
let him finish, Pharaoh.
Well, that's what the book said. That's what he said. It's a wild scholar. Rudolph R. Winslow is a scholar on these things, and he said it had some Jewish slaves on that boat, on those boats, that was practicing custom that came from West Africa. So, are we going to say he's a liar, or he just made it up?
Yeah. Do you know when that book was written? From Babylon to Timbuktu. Do you know when it was written? Yeah, the book was written in 1963, brother. Okay, it had nothing to do with the time of the ancient Jews. And I read the book myself. And yes, Rudolph Winslow, he made that up.
Oh my God.
He cited,
no
sources. He cited no sources for Jews. He cited no primary contemporary sources to back up his claim that that Jews were in the slave ships or the Atlantic slave trade. Yeah, so a lot of the things in that book, yeah, he made it up. And it was written in 1963. So scholar or no scholar, the book is too late, and it has nothing to do with
I believe our people.
Yes, and
I believe our people was Jews as well, Israelites as well. There's no way these things could just be like every story have a truth to it, right? And you telling me that none of that all these things is just made up. The somehow the Bible made up some stories of slavery, which end up being, and it's no Jews, no nothing. It's just a made up everything from the Bible to the books to everybody saying, nah, you gotta have a truth to something.
Babaliko, there's no documentation. There's nothing documented in Egypt about any people called Jews or Hebrews being lost in Egypt or enslaved.
Well, I think they will watch. If you,
Bob, this is what I go by, Babaliko. Like John Henry Clark said, pick up a shovel and a spick. You go to Egypt, pick up a shovel and a spick. You could dig up just about every single pharaoh. To this day, nobody from that Bible has been digged or been digged up or discovered. Nobody.
They're gonna hide it, Donis, because those people in Egypt. Those people in Egypt
they gonna hide it.
But those people in Egypt are not even the real Egyptians. Why would they tell you?
Dude, they go, they do the listen, Babaliko. These people go, they carbon date, they got their tools, they got their technology, they dig up, they carbon date, they verify. Not one patriarch from the Bible has been dug up or verified. We gotta move on, man. I mean, but listen, I view the Bible as a metaphysical and spiritual book. There's things you can learn from it, but as far as all the stories, if you're taking that stuff literally in 2026, I don't know, man. With all the technology we have and information we have, I don't know.
So they say the white man write the book, right? So the white man write the book.
But it don't matter who wrote it, man. It's just
but Donna, if they put Jesus to be as this white Jesus, right? And you write a book,
it don't matter, white, black. It just don't matter. I mean, go get your spick and your shovel and go dig something up. That's all I'm saying.
No, man.
I just think when it comes to this whole we the Hebrews and we the Jews, we're just intellectually lazy.
Why you say that?
Because again, it's all off of feeling. And I read this, I read that. Okay, well, go invest. Go like these other people do. Like somebody's talking in the background. Like what's the teacher from Senegal? Chak Ante Diop, like he did. Go invest millions of dollars into the equipment and the technology and start digging and produce something. You guys don't do that. That's why it's just, again, you believe what you want to, but it's just at this point, it's laughable.
Yeah.
Because it's all just feelings and emotion. That's all I'm saying. Just go dig something up.
Yeah, I definitely agree too, because like
I said, you see these folks all over Egypt. They're everywhere. They're digging. You know, they got their microscopes. They're pulling stuff up, carbon data. They got these $1 million machines, archaeologists. Then when it comes to the Black Hebrew Israelites, well, man, I read in Revelation chapter 2, verse 7. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. It's 2026, man. Go dig some shit up.
Yeah.
It's lazy.
Yeah, because
it's lazy. It's filled with being lazy and emotionalism.
Yeah, indeed. Because even the archaeologists and the people who do the work in Israel are saying that a lot of the Bible characters were not historical. Even like when you look at King David, King Solomon, you know, there is no city of David, no inscriptions of King Solomon, no inscriptions of King David, conquest of Canaan. Yeah, and you look at all the other kings that's mentioned in the Bible that's not Israelites, such as the Egyptian pharaohs, the kings of Assyria, the Persian kings, the Babylonian kings. They all have inscriptions proving their existence. Okay, but we see none of that for King David, King Solomon, none of that, and that's only in the Bible. But to make it even worse, you have these Hebrew Israelite leaders who are rigging up, fabricating pseudo history to try to connect us to the Bible, and the way they're doing it is entirely wrong. Okay, if you're telling me that we're descendants of the Israelites, okay, and you're showing me from an English text or a medieval era, I don't want to see that. I want to see something that's contemporary with the time, and these claims are not coming from any text, primary text that's contemporary with that time. But it's just a bunch of people just making up fantasies and writing it in an English book and trying to sell it to you, and you're foolish enough to fall for it and buy it. And it makes no
Check
sense.
my phone about
That's
that.
what I'm trying to tell you, and you're not listening.
If when you die, where you believe in a heaven or earth, or you just believe you die and that's it? That's the end of that's it. That's the end.
Well, I really don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I don't know what to believe on that. I mean, there's no proof of what happens. Yeah, I don't know what to believe. Yeah, to be honest with you.
So what about these people who said they died and they saw Jesus and they see spiritual things? Are these people lying?
That's just personal experience.
Yeah,
that's anecdotal. Again,
yeah.
Babaliko, get all the black Hebrews together, put your money up, invest in some equipment, go to Israel and start digging.
Yeah. But yeah, all I'm saying is, what this guy, perfect example, this guy, Bishop Nathaniel from IUIC, he did a video saying that, showing a source dated to the 17th century, written by a man named Alan Godby. Him, 17th century, of him mentioning Jews on the Niger River who got there in 70 AD. But this is coming from a book that was written in the 17th century. Come on, brother, you gotta question these things. Like you gotta let these leaders know why you selling me a fantasy. If you're trying to educate me on my ancestors, where are my ancestors in the ancient texts? Where are my ancestors in the real history? Yeah, and that's why you got to question these leaders and do your own honest research. Because I don't know why that is so hard for you to do. I mean, I've been snapped out of that years ago. These guys are lying. They are scamming, and they know they are lying. They know it's a lie. But yet they sell it to our people anyway. And these guys are like 60, 70 years old, and they've been living the same old lie ever since they've been a Hebrew Israelite. And your claim of being a Hebrew Israelite actually comes from a made up 12 tribes chart that the leader who made the 12 tribes chart said his knowledge was based on a dream. His knowledge was not based on historical research, real studying historical research, studying texts, finding out the truth. No, he said it came from a dream, and we don't even know if that's the truth. And now we getting videos all over YouTube being made saying that the 12 tribes chart is false. And the same people who are saying that the 12 tribes chart is false, they're still claiming to be an Israelite. So if the 12 tribes chart is false, then that means you're not an Israelite. Why are you still claiming to be an Israelite when you found out that the 12 tribes chart is false? So you know you're living a lie, but you don't want to give up the lie. It's sad.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and
Peace.
Close out. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time, family, dynasty, search for Huru. Peace.
Yeah, peace out. Peace.